All right, get ready to dive into the world of Georgian wine because you've sent over a stack of articles and indexes all about Saperavi, and honestly, I'm already intrigued.
What's fascinating about Saperavi is it's not just a grape, it's practically a time traveler.
Okay, love that. A time traveler. You've got my full attention. I know it's an ancient grape, but how far back are we talking?
Try 8,000 years back. We're talking about evidence of Saperavi viticulture near the ancient Georgian site of Shulaveras Gora. It predates the Egyptian pyramids.
Hmm.
And it's not just about how long they've been making wine, it's that Saperavi is intertwined with Georgian identity itself.
Wow, 8,000 years. That's almost unfathomable. Really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? No wonder you called it a time traveler. So this grape clearly has some stories to tell. Even its name, Saperavi, sounds mysterious. What does it mean, anyway?
Saperavi translates to dye or coloring in Georgian, and trust me, one look at the wine and you'll get why. It's like the
Wow.
darkest, richest blackberry juice you've ever seen.
That intense color definitely makes it stand out on a shelf. So we've got this ancient, intensely colored grape with a name that speaks to its vibrancy. It makes you wonder, what's it like to actually grow Saperavi? Is it as finicky as some of those ancient grape varieties can be?
You know, Saperavi is actually pretty adaptable.
Okay.
It thrives in continental climates, meaning hot summers and cold winters. Kind of like a good sleep schedule, needs both to really recharge.
It's like that perfect balance we all crave so it can handle some extremes. What about the soil? I imagine it has some preferences there too.
Absolutely. Saperavi likes well-drained soil. Think of it this way. Nobody likes soggy feet,
Right.
especially not grapevines. Well-drained soil means the roots can breathe and access nutrients without getting waterlogged, which can dilute the flavor of the grapes.
Ah,
That's why areas like Kakheti, Georgia, with its alluvial soils, are perfect for Saperavi.
it's all starting to come together now. You've got these ideal growing conditions, and then you add in the human element, the centuries of tradition and expertise that go into cultivating these grapes.
And speaking of tradition, for ages, Georgian farmers have used a special pergola system called maglari. Imagine these tall, beautiful canopies that let the grapes soak up the sun as they slowly ripen.
It sounds almost like a scene from a movie. I bet those vineyards are breathtaking.
Oh, they are?
But I also read that some modern techniques are being used now, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Modern viticulture techniques like controlled pruning and specific canopy management techniques are being used to help enhance the grape quality even further, all while still respecting those time-tested traditions.
It's like blending the best of both worlds. Ancient wisdom meets modern innovation. And then comes the really exciting part, transforming those sun-drenched grapes into wine.
And let me tell you, the winemaking journey of Saperavi is just as fascinating as its history. It all starts with finding that sweet spot when it comes to harvesting.
So timing is everything. I imagine it's a bit of a balancing act.
You hit the nail on the head. Harvesting Saperavi is about achieving perfect ripeness, that ideal balance between sugar and acidity. If you harvest too early, the wine might taste overly tart. But wait too long, and you risk a jammy, unbalanced wine.
Sounds like a delicate dance with Mother Nature. So once they find that sweet spot, what happens next? How do they go from grape to glass?
After those precious grapes are meticulously hand-harvested, which, by the way, is a whole other story, they're gently crushed. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, the maceration process.
Okay, maceration. I've heard that term before, but remind me, what's happening during maceration?
Imagine this. The grape juice is hanging out with the skins, seeds, and stems. They're basically having a big old flavor party. And the longer they party, the bolder the wine becomes.
So it's like steeping tea. The longer you steep, the stronger the flavor. Does that mean a longer maceration creates a more tannic Saperavi?
Exactly. Longer maceration means more tannins, which give you that dry, astringent feeling in your mouth. Think about how black tea can sometimes feel a bit drying. That's tannins at work.
Okay, so depending on the winemaker's style, they'll adjust the maceration time. What happens after this flavor party?
After the party comes a grand finale. Fermentation. This is where the real magic happens. Yeast is added, and it starts transforming the sugar in the grape juice into alcohol. And you know what else? This is where those amazing aromas and flavors we associate with wine really start to develop.
I bet those aromas are incredible, especially with a grape as intense as Saperavi. So we're talking about those classic wine tasting notes,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. But with Saperavi, it's not just a subtle hint. It's like a full-blown sensory explosion.
Okay, now you're making me seriously crave a glass. What kind of aromas and flavors can we expect from a Saperavi? Give me the full sensory rundown.
All right, imagine plunging your nose into a bowl overflowing with like ripe blackberries, juvenile plums, and dark cherries still warm from the sun.
Okay, you're speaking my language. I'm already sold on those flavors.
But it doesn't stop there.
Hmm.
Saperavi has this incredible depth. You might pick up hints of black pepper, cloves, even a whiff of leather or tobacco, especially in those aged bottles.
Wow, it's like a whole sensory adventure in a glass. I can see why people are so captivated by this grape. But we've been so focused on Georgia. I'm curious how Saperavi expresses itself in other parts of the world. Does it still have that same personality?
That's the beauty of Saperavi. It's a true chameleon in the vineyard. It adapts to different terroirs, taking on the unique characteristics of each region. For example, in cooler climates like Brazil's Serra, you'll find Saperavis with a brighter personality. Think cranberries and pomegranate with a lovely floral lift.
It's fascinating how the same grape can have such different expressions. So it's not just about the grape, but also about the land where it's grown and the people who craft it.
Precisely. And it's that interplay that makes exploring different Saperavis so rewarding. Now, if you're looking for a bolder style, head over to Argentina.
Oh.
Their Saperavis are known for their intensity, ripe black fruit, powerful tannins, and a spicy kick that reflects the country's sunny climate.
I'm hearing bold, intense, spicy. It seems like Saperavi isn't afraid to pack a punch. But it also sounds like there's a certain elegance to it, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's not just about brute force. Saperavi has this wonderful structure and balance, thanks in part to those vibrant tannins. And, we've talked about how it thrives in different parts of the world. Well, winemakers are also experimenting with different aging techniques to coax out even more nuance and complexity.
Oh, that's right. We touched on oak aging earlier. What kind of impact does oak have on Saperavi?
Oak aging can add another layer of sensory intrigue.
Okay.
Imagine those rich, dark fruit flavors mingling with hints of vanilla, baking spices, maybe even a touch of smokiness. It's like adding another dimension to the wine.
It sounds like Saperavi gives winemakers a lot to work with. Are there any other styles of wine being made with this grape, or is it mostly those dry, full-bodied reds?
While Saperavi is best known for its robust reds, it's surprisingly versatile.
Really?
You can find elegant rosés bursting with fresh berry fruit, and some winemakers are even producing sparkling Saperavi.
Sparkling Saperavi. Now that's something I need to try. It seems like this grape has so much to offer, but as with anything special, I imagine there are challenges too. What are some of the hurdles Saperavi faces in gaining wider recognition?
One of the biggest challenges is simply awareness.
Yeah.
While wine enthusiasts might be familiar with Cabernet Sauvignon or Merlot, Saperavi is still relatively unknown to a broader audience.
It's like that hidden gem waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. And then there's the question of availability. The majority of Saperavi is still produced in Georgia. So expanding its global footprint will require more plantings in other suitable regions around the world.
It's like finding those perfect pockets where Saperavi can thrive and then connecting with passionate winemakers who are eager to showcase its potential.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not just about increasing production, is it? There's also the perception of Saperavi as this bold, tannic wine. How do you appeal to a wider range of palates?
You've hit on another key point. There's a need to showcase Saperavi's versatility. It's not just about those big, bold reds. It's about the rosés, the sparkling wines, even the lighter-bodied styles that are incredibly food-friendly.
It sounds like Saperavi needs a good PR campaign, a chance to step into the spotlight and show the world what it's truly capable of. But it's more than just marketing, isn't it? It's about preserving the soul of this grape as it gains popularity.
You're absolutely right. Preserving Saperavi's heritage is crucial.
Yeah.
It's about protecting the integrity of the grape, supporting sustainable viticulture practices, and honoring those centuries-old traditions that have made Saperavi so special.
So how do we ensure that Saperavi's story is told authentically as it reaches a wider audience?
Education is key. For producers, it's about understanding the importance of preserving Saperavi's genetic diversity and utilizing those traditional winemaking methods that have been passed down through generations.
And for consumers?
It's about going beyond simply enjoying the wine. It's about appreciating the history, the culture, the artistry that goes into every bottle. It's about understanding that when you choose Saperavi, you're not just choosing a wine, you're choosing an experience.
I love that. It's about recognizing the story behind the wine, the connection to a place and its people. And, as you were talking about preserving Saperavi's heritage, it made me think about something else we touched on earlier, the research being done on this grape.
Absolutely. Researchers and viticulturists are doing fascinating work mapping Saperavi's DNA, exploring its resistance to diseases, and even experimenting with different clones to enhance its adaptability.
It's like they're unlocking the secrets of this ancient grape, using science to deepen our understanding of its potential.
Precisely. And what's really exciting is that this research is helping winemakers make more informed decisions in the vineyard and the winery.
So it's a beautiful blend of ancient tradition and cutting-edge science, all working together to create something truly exceptional. And speaking of exceptional, we can't talk about Saperavi without mentioning its profound cultural significance in Georgia, can we? It's clearly more than just a drink.
You're absolutely right. In Georgia, Saperavi isn't just a beverage. It's woven into the very fabric of their culture and identity. It's present at celebrations, during meals, and in their ancient traditions. For centuries, it's been a source of pride and a symbol of their heritage.
It sounds like Saperavi is a true ambassador for Georgia, sharing a piece of their culture with the world through every sip.
It really is. And as more people discover Saperavi, they're also discovering the beauty and history of Georgia.
It's like a gateway to a whole new world of culture, history, and of course, incredible wine. So as we look to the future of Saperavi, what are some of the trends that suggest this grape is on the rise?
Well, one trend we're seeing is a focus on terroir-driven wines.
Yep.
Winemakers are embracing the unique characteristics that each region imparts on the grape, highlighting the diversity of Saperavi's expression.
So moving away from a one-size-fits-all approach and really celebrating the nuances of each terroir, that makes perfect sense.
Exactly, and it's not just about where the grapes are grown, it's about how they're handled in the winery, too.
Are you talking about experimenting with different winemaking techniques?
Precisely. Yeah. We're seeing a resurgence of ancient techniques like using traditional Georgian Kevri for fermentation and aging.
Oh, yes. Those large egg-shaped clay vessels buried underground. I've heard they impart a very distinctive flavor to the wine.
They do. Kevri wines have this incredible texture and earthy complexity. They're truly unique.
It's amazing how these ancient techniques are still relevant today, adding another layer of depth and intrigue to Saperavi wines. Are there any other trends you're seeing?
Blending is becoming increasingly popular.
Oh,
Winemakers are discovering that Saperavi plays well with other varietals, adding complexity, softening tannins, or creating entirely new flavor profiles.
it's like a culinary adventure, experimenting with different grapes to see how they complement and enhance each other.
Exactly. And of course, there's a growing emphasis on sustainable viticulture and winemaking.
Right.
Many Saperavi producers are adopting organic and biodynamic farming methods, focusing on water conservation and minimizing their environmental impact.
It's about creating exceptional wines while also being mindful of the planet, a win-win for everyone. So it seems like the future of Saperavi is bright, filled with the potential for growth, innovation, and global recognition.
Absolutely. And, as we've been discussing the future of Saperavi, it's got me thinking,
Okay.
we've explored how this grape could become the next big thing globally. But what if its success isn't measured by global domination, but by something else entirely?
Now you've piqued my interest. What do you have in mind? So you're saying, what if Saperavi's journey takes a different path? What if it's not about becoming the next Cabernet Sauvignon competing for space on every wine shop shelf?
Exactly. What if Saperavi's greatest strength is its ability to stay connected to its roots, to remain a symbol of Georgian heritage, even as the world discovers its brilliance?
I love that idea. It's about appreciating Saperavi for what it is, a wine with incredible depth, a captivating history, and a unique connection to a place and its people. It's not trying to be something it's not. It's proudly showcasing its heritage.
It's about quality over quantity, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Saperavi offering a taste of something truly unique, something you won't find anywhere else in the world.
Absolutely. It's about preserving those ancient traditions, those time-honored techniques, and that deep respect for the land that have made Saperavi so special for thousands of years.
And as we've journeyed through the world of Saperavi together, exploring its past, present, and potential future, I'm struck by how this one grape embodies so much.
What do you mean?
Well, Saperavi is a testament to resilience. It's a story of tradition and innovation intertwined. It's a reminder that the most rewarding discoveries often lie off the beaten path, waiting to be unearthed by those with an adventurous palate and a thirst for something truly extraordinary.
It's like those bold flavors, those captivating aromas. They're telling a story that's been 8,000 years in the making.
A story that speaks to the heart of Georgian culture, a story that's now being shared with the world. And as we've discovered, it's a story with many chapters yet to be written.
And on that note, I think we've reached the perfect ending to our deep dive into the world of
I
Saperavi.
couldn't agree more.
To new discoveries, to unexpected flavors, and to the stories that connect us all. Cheers.
Cheers.